Today we will see some MCQs from chapter sound. Okay. The first one. The sound can travel in air when particles of medium travel from one place to another. There is no moisture in the atmosphere. Disturbance travels from one place to another. Both particles as well as disturbance travel from one place to another. This you know very well. Anyhow, I will show it from the textbook. Okay. See, only particles oscillate from in one portion, this way. Okay, but not the particle here is not going here. Okay, so disturbance travels from one place to another. Disturbance means the compression refractions. It will travel from one place to another, but particles of the medium travel from one place to another. No, there is no moisture in the atmosphere. No, both particles as well as disturbance travel from one place to another. No. So this is the C is the answer for this. Okay. Then second one, we can distinguish between a man's voice and a woman's voice of the same loudness even without seeing them. Correct. This I discussed with you when I was explaining the sound, how to identify the sound. This is due to a characteristics of sound which measures the shrillness of the sound. Can you choose the correct unit of the quantity on which this characteristic of sound depends? Okay, first let us understand what is shrillness. So this is the shrillness meaning from Cambridge English Dictionary. The quality of being loud and high, unpleasant or painful to listen. So the quality of being loud and high. Okay, loud means loud amplitude, high means high frequency. Okay, unpleasant or painful to listen. Okay. So here it is not we are not thinking of unpleasant. Shrill voice means high frequency voice. Okay, so I told women's voice is voice frequency is higher than men's voice. So when they make a huge means very loud noise, woman's voice will be more shrillness than men's voice. Okay, so that is the meaning here, and this is not because of the loudness or the amplitude of the signal. It is only because of the frequency. Higher the frequency, shrillness is more. Okay, very high frequencies, if you listen, you will like a vehicle applying brake. That is very high frequency vibrations. You don't like it. Nobody likes it. Okay. So sorry. That way it is the frequency cycles per second, so its unit is hertz. Okay, third one, a key of a mechanical piano struck gently and then struck again but much harder this time. In the second case, so it is nothing is changed. Only thing is it is struck piano key. It is struck gently first time. Second time you have pressed very hard. Okay, so in the second case what happens? The sound will be louder but pitch will not be different. Okay, correct. Pitch means frequency actually. Correct, no? Louder, this is correct. Correct, no? Sound will be louder and pitch will also be higher. No, because if you are pressing the same key of the piano, it cannot be different. Sound will be louder, but pitch will be lower. No. Both loudness and pitch will remain unaffected. No, not this. The first one is correct. Sound will be louder, but pitch will be same. It will not be different. That is the meaning. Okay. Note is a sound. What is note? See, a sound of single frequency is called a tone. I think it is a mistake. Tone is a sound of a single frequency. Okay, this is the mistake. Okay, so that is yes, sound of single frequency is called a tone. Okay, yes. So fifth one. In sonar we use this, we discussed in the last class, it is ultrasound waves. Why ultrasound waves? Do you remember? Ultrasound waves has got a particular direction and it can penetrate into objects, and it gets reflected at the boundary of different densities. Okay, so ultrasound is the ultrasound waves are used in sonar, underwater detection. Okay, on increasing the temperature, the speed of the sound in air. See, the speed of the sound is proportional to temperature, directly proportional to temperature. That means if temperature increases, velocity of sound in that medium increases. If this decreases, temperature decreases, this will decrease. So the answer is increases. Okay. So coming to the next one. The bats can fly in darkness of night without colliding with other objects by emitting special sounds while flying. Which characteristics of sound is used by the bats to navigate? This also we discussed in length. It is ultrasound. Okay, because it can reflect and it is easy to find the objects. Why infrasounds or audible sounds we are not using? This also I told. You remember the reason? It is because these sounds, infrasounds and audible sounds, it goes round the object and then it will go away from that. So we will not get any indication that there is an object. Only ultrasounds have the property of reflecting from objects. Okay, that is the eighth one. You must have seen the doctor checking the sound produced in the chest or heartbeat of a patient using a medical instrument called stethoscope. On what principle does this stethoscope work? Multiple refractions, multiple reflections, wave motion, none of the above. I will show you in the book. See, so it is the multiple reflections. Okay, yes. B is the correct answer. Okay, so why multiple reflections are required? Because it can take the sound from the source to the listening point, okay, without getting disturbed by the surrounding sounds. So it is a closed pipe, no? It is not disturbed, and it is a sound is carried by multiple reflections. Okay. So ninth one, which part of the human ear converts sound vibrations into electrical signals? Which part of the, you remember this? Snail-shaped snail-shaped part in the human ear, it is cochilla. Okay, so this definitely you can expect one question like this from the human ear. So you should know all the parts of the human ear. Okay, what do dolphins, bats and porpoise use? Again we know it is ultrasound. Okay, many times we studied this. Children under the age of 5 can hear up to, see, as humans we cannot listen low frequencies, whatever may be the age. Only high frequencies children and up to teenagers can listen better than adults. Adults cannot listen high frequencies. As grow old, high frequencies cannot be listened. So children under the age of 5 can hear up to 25 kilohertz. So human, this one is 20 to 20 kilohertz. So this is more than that. So children can listen up to 25 kilohertz. To hear a distinct echo each time interval between the original sound and the reflected sound must be, this you should remember. Okay, we are not doing, this is with the human experiments people have found it. Okay, so it is always 0.1 seconds, 0.1 seconds. Less than that we cannot listen the echo. Okay, 13th one, speed v. Here very difficult to write. I will write v like this. Okay, wavelength lambda and the frequency nu. Okay, ignore this. So speed v, wavelength lambda and the frequency nu of sound are related as, everything looks similar. I will write the equation here. How you remember this? So I remember like this, lambda is equal to speed by frequency. So therefore here v is, this v we will keep it, so it will be lambda into nu. Okay, so which is that one? So looks, actually C is correct. Okay, E is equal to lambda into nu. This is not very difficult to achieve this. So I used as it is the printout. So you remember this, lambda is equal to okay, speed by frequency, then speed is equal to lambda into frequency. This is correct also. You see, lambda is the wavelength, one wavelength. In 1 second, how many waves are there, the frequency will tell. If you multiply these two, you will get the speed per second, how much distance the wave is traveling. Okay, yes. Speed of sound depends upon temperature of the medium. This we already discussed. Pressure of the medium, no. Temperature of source producing sound, no. Temperature and pressure of medium, no. Okay, 14th one is A. 15th one. Okay, 14th one is A. Which characteristics is this? We can distinguish between sound having same pitch and loudness. Okay. So this is the definition. The quality or timbre of sound is that the characteristics which enables us to distinguish one sound from another having the same pitch and loudness. Okay, that is the definition. So here the question is same. We can distinguish between having a sound having same pitch and loudness. It is timbre. Okay. The loudness can travel a large distance due to this. You can think about it. Higher amplitude, higher energy, high frequency, high speed. So high speed is not possible. Okay, sound speed is fixed. High frequency, no. Whatever may be the frequency, whether we know man's and woman voice are different frequencies, but it is not traveling at different speeds, correct, or larger distances. So higher amplitude, higher energy, you have to think about this. See, energy means force into distance we studied. Okay, we can apply that here. So amplitude, higher amplitude, usually it will die down over the distance because of lot of other reasons. We have not yet studied those things. So higher energy, energy means what? Force into, we studied force into displacement actually. It has to go to places. So if more displacement, it has got more energy. Whereas amplitude, it is only A. To certain extent, this is also correct. But actually, if you take higher energy, means the thing which can go very far, very good displacement is having more energy. So B is, remember this, B is the higher energy. That is the answer. Okay. Yes. So 17th one. A wave in slinky travels to and fro in 5 seconds. The length of the slinky is 5 meters. What is velocity of the wave? Okay. So how to calculate this? Slinky means that very spring, plastic spring of bigger diameter. Okay. So here we have to find velocity. So velocity we have to find. The wave in a slinky traveled to and fro in 5 seconds. So t is equal to 5 seconds. And the length, distance is how much? 5 plus 5, correct? I will say only, I don't write D. Distance is 5 meters plus 5 meters, it is 10 meters. Okay, it is to and fro. The wave went this way and came back. So now, so velocity is distance by time, correct? So 10 by 5 is 2 meters per second. Okay, C is the answer. Okay, like this you have to calculate. Don't confuse with the D. Actually in the sound it is always, if the distance is taken as one way, then total distance will be 2 times because it goes and then it comes back. Correct? Yeah. Reverberation, 18th one. Reverberation of sound is used in. See, reverberation, it is multiple. You just remember it as multiple reflections. Suppose if you go to a big hall and if you clap hands, I send you the video also. You can listen continuously the same sound again and again, even a roaring of thunder. Okay, so it is We are not saying echo, because if it is after 0.5 seconds, if it happens, then we will call it as echo, because it can distinguish from original sound to the reflected one. But here many reflections will come from many objects or many walls, so it will be less than 0.1 seconds. But we listen before, as soon as we listen the first sound, you will listen the second sound also, a third sound also, fourth sound, everything is clubbed together. So that's why it is called reverberation. So in stethoscope, it is always multiple reflections. In trumpet, that is also having a big tube, it is also multiple reflections. Even megaphone is also same, I showed. Okay, you can see my earlier video. So here for 18th, it is all of this. When we change feeble sound to loud sound, very feeble sound to loud sound, other things increases its, we have not done anything, any other change, then it is amplitude. Feeble sound means low amplitude. Loud sound means high amplitude. Okay. In the curve, half the wavelength is. So let me draw a. So this we can take it as, okay, let us say, because here it is given. This is, see, any, between any two highs or two lows, usually we take, so between this and this is, distance is called wavelength. Here that is not given. So if you take up to this, it is also one wave. Okay. So here this is full like this. Usually it is represented like this. Okay. Then we want half of it. You see, this is half of it. This is half of wavelength. Or this point to this point also is half of it. So here you see which is correct. AB, no, it is only 1/4. BD, yes. DE, it is only 1/4 wavelength. AE is a full wavelength. So BD is the correct answer. Okay. Before the main shock wave, the earthquake produces the characteristic sound waves which some animals like rhinoceros can hear. Here, can you guess the kind of sound waves produced here? Because he has given a clue, rhinoceros. Rhinoceros can listen infrasounds. It speaks at, it can speak, means, or it can make sounds at 5 hertz. So it is infrasound. Okay, very easy to identify the answer. Infrasound can be heard by, remember, dogs, bats and all can hear higher sounds. Only rhinoceros can hear low sounds. Before playing the orchestra in a musical concert, a sitarist tries to adjust the tension and plug the string suitably. By doing so, he is adjusting. So before the start of the program, they will tune their, or they will check their instruments. They will keep doing it. So is it because intensity of sound only, amplitude of sound only, frequency of the sitar string with the frequency of other musical instruments, loudness of the sound? Here we have to understand in a different way. See, when this is even new for me, okay, intensity of sound only, no, not mainly intensity, amplitude of sound only, no, loudness of sound, no. Actually what they do is frequency of the sitar string with the frequency of other musical instruments. They will compare, it looks like. Okay. If maybe it is because 2-3 instruments should not produce the same sound, then we cannot, it is very difficult to distinguish sometimes, correct? Maybe the music definition is like that. It should be slightly different. Always we can slightly change the difference by increasing the tension or decreasing the tension where you pluck it. Okay. So the answer is C in this case. This you please remember. Okay. So 24th one. The technique of obtaining images of heart by using reflections of ultrasonic waves from various parts of heart is called, this you please, this is very specific, this is called echocardiography. Okay, this you have to remember. On increasing the temperature, the speed of sound in air, this many times we discussed already, it increases. Loudness measures the sound energy reaching the ear per second and depends on the amplitude of the sound wave. What is the unit used to measure the loudness of sound? This I didn't discuss with you. Okay, it is not given in the book, but it is many question papers is coming with this question. So how we measure the loudness, I didn't tell, but it is called decibel. Okay, these things you will learn in your next class. Okay, it is not the frequency meter. This is the speed, this is the frequency, and this is just a time. Actually, it is a decibel. Okay, it is a different scale. Okay, it is a non-linear scale. Okay, so it is called decibel. Just remember, sometimes this is the symbol they use, small d and capital B, decibel. Okay, this you have to remember. This is the unit of loudness. We can easily distinguish between the sounds of the different singers even without having seen them. This is all due to different quality or timbre of their sounds. On what factors does the quality of sound depend? Okay, this is also something maybe new for you. It is not the wavelength, it is not the wave frequency, it is not the wave amplitude, it is the wave shape or wave form. Okay, we can easily distinguish between the sounds of the different singers even without having seen them. This is all due to the different quality or timbre of their sounds. Okay, on what factors does the quality of the sound depend? Just here you remember that it is a wave form. Okay, suppose two gents speaks, we can, they are the lower frequency only, but still we are able to understand, means that it is different. Okay, so that is like if I speak and you speak, it is easily you can make it out. Okay, so that is the shape is different actually. See, I told the suppose if usually sound is like this, these small variations may be different from different person. Maybe frequency and other things may be same. Okay, wavelength, frequency, amplitude, everything same. But there is a wave shape. This happens because our vocal cord produces many different frequency sounds. Actually, it's all combined and you listen. Okay, so that way this shape will be different. This we are not discussed in theory in length, but this is also one of the MCQs in your syllabus. So please remember this. 28th one. Which of the following waves do not require any kind of medium to propagate? This one. Which one of the following waves do not require any kind of medium to propagate? Sound needs medium. Earthquake waves also needs medium like earth itself. Light waves, because it comes from sun all the way from sun to earth. There is fully only space. There is no material medium. So it is light waves. Water surface waves, it needs medium. Okay, water is a medium there. 29th one. Waves produced on the surface of water are, this also we didn't discuss. So there are two types of waves, transverse waves and longitudinal waves. So transverse waves are like this. So the particle will go up and down. And sound waves, this is perpendicular to the wave motion. Whereas this is wave motion is like this, but it is oscillate parallel to the wave motion. That is the difference between longitudinal waves and transverse waves. On the surface of water, whatever it is produced, you can make clearly it is transverse wave only. It is up and down. Correct, no? Yeah. So 30th, last one. What type of sound waves can propagate in solids? This also we didn't discuss, but this I have seen at many places. So just now we discussed two types of waves. Okay, in solids, okay, both types of waves can travel. Okay, so this also you have to remember. We have to study further to understand this. But you remember, in solids, both types of wave transmission is possible. Okay. So today's class we studied 30 MCQs from sound. Even tomorrow's class I will manage to get 30 more and we will discuss, because your question paper consists of 50% theory and 50% MCQs. Already you send a word through SOR to me, so I will try to expose to you as many MCQs as possible. So for some I'll collect 30 more or prepare some more, and in the next class we will study 30 more MCQs from some. Okay, any doubts please ask me.